the purpose of bringing Heartsick to life for me was to address the fact that, like, yeah, I could spiral and do some real fuck shit just to feel something more than what I'm feeling right now. But I'm gonna make this song instead describing how I feel about my heart and the space that I'm currently in.
Just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, ayy. Just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, ayy. Just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, ayy. Just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, ayy. Just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, ayy. Just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, just a girl going through it, ayy.
So, Heartsick actually was inspired by an event that I emceed / vended for back in February called Heartsick. Shout out to the Nonchalant Alien. Shout out to Amalia for putting together an amazing space, curating a space for local artists, not just musical artists, but visual artists to come and share their work. It was a vibe. It was a great time. We was in our fields. A lot of the musicians had like some heavy hitting lyrics that was hitting me right here in my heart and was making me sit and think, damn, I resonate. Damn, I feel this way. Damn, I'm fucked up. But before the event, I went through a circumstance where I saw someone from my past that I hadn't seen in a minute. And it brought feelings back to the surface that I was not aware was still there. While also having to deal with a separate situation with the person that I also had feelings for. So my heart was sick in that space because I was feeling multiple things, multiple different things at one time. And so literally, I think it was maybe 3 days before the event, I was making a beat randomly and I was like, oh, this shit is hard. And then the thing that just kept playing over and over my head, it was like, it aches, it races, it pumps, it drops, because that was like the little slogan for the Heartsick event. It aches, it races, it pumps, it drops. And then I was like so sick of my heart, but the beat never stops. And it just made me like, it was just like, damn, girl, you really are a lover, girl. And you really just want to love people just to love people because you have all this love to just give. But your heart is going through it because you're giving all this love to other people, but you're not giving it back to yourself in the ways that you deserve. And so that's where Heartsick started. Me kind of just going through an overwhelming amount of emotions that I was not prepared to deal with. But, you know, I can't even say I dealt with it at that time because I damn sure didn't. I didn't start dealing with the emotions until maybe 2-3 months later. But now we're here, 2-3 months after that Heartsick event and me performing the song, sharing it for the first time. And literally, again, I made it 3 days before the event. So I didn't even know the words, honestly, for real. Like, I was just up there with a microphone in my hand, like, we about to vibe out with this. And y'all either fuck with it or not. People fucked with it. And since then, I've just been building on what heart sickness means to me. In the beginning of the song, I say, they said I was sick in my head, but really I'm just sick in my heart. And it's just the neglection of being aware of what my heart center is trying to inform me. What I recently learned is that our emotions are separate from our feelings. Our emotions are instinctual reactions to a situation or a person. So like, you feel anger somewhere in your body when someone lies to you. Let's say hypothetically, you feel anger, but anger is the emotion. Like, anger is the emotion, it's not the feeling. The emotion of anger is then intellectualized so that it is something that we can communicate and articulate, not just to others but to ourselves, so that we know where the emotion is stemming from, so that we can learn to work through it and let it go. And so I realized that there have been so many instances where I've like fully neglected the emotion that I was feeling, because I'm a very emotionally aware person. I usually know what I'm feeling instantly. But because of empathy and because of people pleasing and because of wanting to show up for people in the ways that I want them to show up for me, I suppress those emotions in order to show up in the way that I think I need to, rather than showing up in the way that I actually need to for myself. And that's where my heart becomes sick, because I'm keeping it in this cycle of abuse by not tending to it in the ways that it deserves to be tended to. So yeah, it's an interesting thought that I had, that I was like, I want to grow this thought, and that manifested into art, which is my heart monster, which is my physical representation of my anatomical heart outside of my body. And he's out for vengeance because he's damn near tired, not just of me, but of everyone else taking advantage of him. Because it's not fair. It's not just fair to me, because, again, we are all reflections of each other. And so I feel like in me knowing and being aware of the neglect that I've, had towards my heart, I know that there are other people in this world who neglect the hell out of their hearts and don't actually take the due diligence to sit with themselves and to understand, why they feel what they feel, why this emotion is stemming from this scenario or conversation. Why do I get angry when someone tells me to do something differently than how I want to? Like, what is that triggering inside of me? Because it's a feeling that I have not been able to let go of. I feel like we get so caught up in like, control your emotions, but like, you control your emotions to a certain extent. You can't control the emotion that you instantaneously like feel throughout your body, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not. It makes sense to me. It makes fucking sense to me, and that's all that matters. But yeah, Heartsick is a song about me having this existentially kinky driven relationship with my heart, and like wanting to not feel but loving feeling it, because feeling all of the intense emotions not only is overwhelming, but it is intoxicating, because it reminds me that I am alive. It reminds me that I am a human being existing in this human experience filled with ups and downs. Like, I fucking love a roller coaster. I love getting to the top, and then as soon as we go over that hill, my stomach drops. Like, I enjoy that feeling. I enjoy heartbreak. I enjoy making new connections with the possibility of it ending, because endings are inevitable and we're meant to go through it. But sometimes I can be abusive to myself in that way, because I'll put myself in a scenario that I know is going to end tragically just so that I can feel that rush of existential adrenaline that my subconscious feeds off of. Again, we are all very kinky people, and it doesn't have to just mean in a physical way. It's in an emotional and mental way. And so we keep ourselves in scenarios where we are feeling guilt and we feel shame and we feel rejection because we are perpetuating the narrative that has been created in our subconscious to make us feel like we're supposed to be the victim and that we, are supposed to feel shame for existing because we're all fucking sinners, right? But again, these are all things that we were taught. Like, I'm heartsick, love is the drug and I can't quit. And it's this idea that, like, I love love so much that I'm going to constantly be seeking it, but all love isn't real love. And that's the key to the song. It's like, some love is abusive, some love is toxic, some love is love that we were taught to just accept because that's all that we knew. And so we cling to it and we look for it in other people, not realizing that it's more karmic than it is genuine. It aches, it races, it pumps, it drops. So sick of my heart, but the beat never stops. I'm tired of my heart wanting all of these things, knowing that I am incapable of giving it to them, which isn't true. That's not true, and I know that, but that's just my ego, that's my mind, which is why I'm constantly looking for someone to give and give and give to me, which is why I give and give and give and give to others, because again, I treat others the way I want to be treated, yet I'm left with nothing in return. But my heart's not going to stop. Like, it's just going to be empty because I'm not filling the void that I'm expecting other people to fill for myself. I'm heartsick, I'm heartsick, I'm heartsick, my heart's sick. I'm heartsick, I'm heartsick, I'm heartsick, my heart's sick. I'm heartsick, my heart's sick. I feel everything. It's too big. I'm overwhelmed, but fuck, I like it. This internal pain is all requited to love. I am very much aware of how big my heart is. I'm very much aware of, like, the amount of emotions, the amount of love that I'm able to give to others and the love that I'm able to receive. And because of that, I put myself in situations that are intentionally overwhelming so that I can feel as fully as I'm meant to, even if it's not, like, beneficial for my emotional and mental well-being. Because I'm a fucking masochist and I enjoy internal pain, and it is something that I am currently trying to work through. Am I currently heartsick? I think my heart sickness is subsiding. And I think my heart sickness is subsiding because of the way I am choosing to go about dealing with the feelings that I've been feeling, the overwhelming feelings that I've been feeling since February of writing this song. I'm heartsick, but maybe, like, I'm in recovery. I'm in heart sickness recovery right now. And so there are moments where I relapse. There are moments where I definitely take 4 steps back after taking 2 steps forward, but that's because life is not linear and I can't expect to be cured of my heart sickness overnight because, again, the things that reside in our subconscious mind are things that we kind of absorbed as children, you know, not recognizing the damage that it actually was doing to our psyches. And I'm just becoming more aware of my existential kinks. Like, I get off from rejection. Like, I will put myself in scenarios with people where it's not even me giving them room to reject me. It's me rejecting myself. And I reject myself by showing up as, like, a half version of me, or as 3/4 of me, or 1/4 of me, because it's easier for me to reject myself than to stand rejection from someone else, because I was taught, not all of my life, that I'm meant to please other people, but growing up, seeing other people kind of put on performances to be accepted by the crowd made me feel like I needed to do the same thing in order to be accepted by the crowd. And so now at the age of 25, I'm in a space where I'm like, I actually don't think I care about the crowd that much. I care more about me. So in order to now fulfill the kink in a healthy and productive way is by showing up authentically and showing that to people and them having the free reign to decide whether or not they fuck with it or not. And if you don't fuck with it, then that just means I'm not for you, and that's cool. But 9 times out of 10, the reason why people can't digest who you are is because they haven't digested who they fully are, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because all love to everyone, because we're all trying to figure out our purpose and our reasoning as to why we exist, because we're all meant to create that for ourselves. And you know, I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I'm fully healed, because I'm far from it. But I know that I've been doing a lot of work to be able to look at other people and to not be, you know, upset or to project how I feel or my insecurities onto them, you know. And again, that's an everyday journey that we're all going through, because we don't even recognize that the things that we don't like in other people are 9 times out of 10 the things that we don't like about ourselves. But it's just so much easier to pinpoint them in other people because of them being physically in front of us, right? And because we're constantly distracting ourselves, because we're constantly moving, because we're constantly in autopilot, because we create a schedule so to avoid being alone with ourselves, we don't actually see these things in us, but we see them in other people, and we're constantly like just nagging about the things that we don't like about everyone else, but we should sit with ourselves for a little bit. There's a reason why you don't like that shit in them. And you don't like that shit in them because it's somewhere deep down inside, or maybe not even that deep, it resides in you. And so I'm learning that putting out this art, putting out my music, putting out my fucking heart monster for everyone to send to whomever in their DMs and to laugh at or to ridicule or to question or to fucking say whatever comment, because it really doesn't matter. Because again, the shit doesn't faze me, and it doesn't faze me because I've already accepted my heart monster. I've already accepted my demons. I know the bed that I made. And some nights I be sleeping 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm comfy. And I'm comfy in that bed because I'm comfy within myself. And heart sickness, being aware of my heart sickness, has helped me want to do a better job of creating a space where I don't shy away from those emotions, those feelings from myself. Because at the end of the day, if I ain't got nobody in this world, I'm supposed to have me. And if I ain't got me, then I ain't got shit. And we done did that before, and we ain't doing it again. So I am currently recovering from heart sickness, and I'm sure my subconscious mind will try to put me in situations to fuck with my heart in the ways that it does. But I am positive in the relationship that I have with myself, the relationship that I have with God, and my awareness of myself and of others that will stop my subconscious before allowing things to kind of work itself out in a way that's not healthy for me. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, I deal with heart sickness by sitting with it, by resting. The same thing that any of us should do when our bodies get sick. I'm learning that, like, when my physical body starts to ache and feels like not well, it's usually because I have been suppressing something within me that I'm choosing to ignore. So now my body is like, nah, bitch, you need to sit down and fucking lay down. And like, people who push themselves even when they're sick, I'm like, yo, like, I get it, you gotta survive, and it's a fucked up world that we live in. having to put money before our, like, you know, well-being. But people who push themselves to the limit, like, it's like people don't understand why they're sick once a month. People don't understand why they have certain ailments. And I'm not saying that, you know, cancer or dementia or just the different ailments that anyone can get is because of the things that we don't deal with mentally or emotionally. But I am kind of saying that I just and that's just me looking at my family's history and the different things that I've witnessed my family kind of go through and also not deal with as a family, and seeing how, like, as they have aged, the different, like, ailments that they have and how it correlates to the things that they probably were running from back in the day, and it now catching up to them. It's like, damn, like, we really do need to prioritize our mental and emotional health, because it's not a joke. And it's really unfortunate having to watch, like, my grandparents kind of they're not dying, but they're dying because we're all dying, and they're just closer to death because they've been on this earth longer, which that isn't even a fact, because I could literally die while saying this, because life is that unpredictable. But I'm just going to say hypothetically, because they are older in age, it is more likely for them to die before I do. And seeing them in the headspace that they're in, like, I know 84, 83-year-olds that have much better health than they do. And it not only has to do with how you choose to treat your body, but it has everything to do with how you choose to treat your mind and your heart. Not just physically. Your internal world is a reflection of your external world. And if there is chaos and destruction happening inside of you, you cannot expect that shit to not be happening outside of you. Period. And so how I deal with heart sickness is that I sit with myself and I go inside of my internal world and I look around and I say, all right, what the fuck is out of whack in here? What the fuck do we need to address? What the fuck do we need to let go of? What the fuck do we need to deal with? Because outside is looking like hell. And hell ain't on earth for me, baby. I am 110% in the business of creating heaven here. Because hell and heaven only exists here. For real, for real. Shit don't exist nowhere else. For me, my perspective, the way I choose to look at life, that shit exists here. And I refuse to keep myself imprisoned because of what everyone else is telling me I'm supposed to do. No, I'm supposed to take care of myself. And in taking care of myself, I take care of my physical body, this vessel that God blessed me with. I take care of my mind, my soul, and my heart. Those are things that no one else can tend to but me. And if I don't do my due diligence in that department, I might as well be done for. And I'm not trying to be done for. And the ways in which that I, just take time for my heart is listening to it and giving it what it needs. Like, sometimes my heart just wants to fucking dance. Sometimes my heart just wants to flirt. Sometimes my heart wants to explore and go on an adventure to discover new things, not just about the world that I exist in, but the world that exists within me. Sometimes my heart wants to sing to the top of its fucking lungs. Sometimes my heart needs and wants to ball up in a fucking corner and just cry, because it's been a month and a half since I've actually released all of the tension and built up aggression and angst and fear and doubts that reside in my body. Like, it's just about listening to that. And whenever I think of my heart, I always think about my inner child, because it is the version of me that is pure and not tainted by the idea of what it means to be an adult, or what it means to be a functioning citizen in society, or what it means to be like liked. And like you just, as we grow, our environment is constantly influencing us in ways that are a part of the test that God kind of is giving us here on this earth, to see if we're going to allow ourselves to be easily influenced by everything outside of us, or if we're going to stick to what we know, and what we know is ourselves, what we know is our heart. And we only get to a place where we become detached from our heart is when we've listened so much to the fears and doubts and judgments and biases of other people that we don't even have a relationship with our heart anymore, because we're not even following where it's been trying to lead us. We fight it, and we fight it because everyone else is fighting their heart. People lack passion, people lack love, people lack an understanding of what it means to actually be connected to ourselves and to everyone around us, and that is the problem in this world. We lack connection. We no longer want to see ourselves and other people, because then we would have to face the reality that we're all fucked up and that we all don't got shit together. Like, none of us know what the fuck is going on for real. Can't nobody tell me what the fuck is happening tomorrow, because you don't know. You could wake up. You could go to sleep right now and wake up and your whole life be flipped upside down. What are you going to do about it? How can you prepare for the unpredictability of this chaotic world we exist in? You can't. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stop living in the ways that I know my heart needs me to because of that shit. I'm just going to keep doing what feels good. And people might think that that shit is crazy. People might think that that's sporadic. People might think that's chaotic. People might think that that's a recipe for disaster. But hell, I feel good. And for your eyes and for you to perceive me, that's through the lens of your fear that you choose to project onto me and everybody else who choose to live freely in this way. I only want to be disciplined in the things that I know I'm meant to be working towards. And the only person that knows what I need to be working towards is me and God. And I have a great relationship with God. We talk every single day. And I feel closer and closer to God as I grow every single day. And that is how I get over heart sickness. It's not until we choose to accept that fact is when we let go and we surrender and we say, okay, let me stop forcing shit. Let me stop fighting shit. Let me stop feeding into my subconscious mind, because my subconscious mind might not even be mine anymore. Like, half of the voices in your head are not yours. Half of the things that you hear to make you doubt the decisions that you want to make as your own individual being, they are not your voices. They're the voice of your mother telling you that you aren't good enough. They're the voice of your dad who projects his laziness onto you. Like, and I'm not saying that everybody, they have fucked up parents, but that's the thing. It's not just about our influences from our parents. It's about just the world. Social media has a tight ass grip on the way we view ourselves and our relationships with other people, and it is frustrating because none of it feels genuine. And the whole point of heart sickness is for me to tap back into my genuinity so that I'm showing up as my whole self. So I'm showing up in the most purest of my heart space, so that I'm not being something that I was never put on this earth to be, because all I want to be is ash. All I want to be is art, simply put. And that starts with the relationships that we choose to cultivate and maintain with our heart. Are you listening to your heart? Do you know what your heart wants? Are you running from what your heart desires because you're afraid of how other people may perceive it? Fuck other people. Only God can judge me. Because God made me perfectly imperfect to live out the destiny that, again, they created so that I can play my part as a cog in this big ass machine that none of us fucking understand, because none of us We made it. We all make our world. We all make our world because we are all perceiving the world that we live in. I don't have anyone else's perspective in life but my own. But I do know that we are one and the same. And so I can empathize and I can understand and I can try to help all of us see that at least. It's not about money, and it shouldn't be about status, and it shouldn't be about race, and it shouldn't be about religion. It shouldn't be about any of those fucking things, but we have those structures to further separate us as people, and that's the problem. That's why my heart is sick, because it's like there's only but a handful of people that are aware of the actual problem, and I feel like there's only but so much I can do because of the structures that I've been placed in, that I'm trying to work myself out of, but not only work myself out of for myself, but to help everyone else around me kind of get out of it, because I don't want my mom to be repeating generational curses in this lifetime or the next, because of the work that I've been doing within myself, knowing that if I want to continue growing and then I want to continue to be surrounded by the people that I know that truly love me, I'm going to bring everybody with me, because we're in this shit together. Fuck separation. Fuck separation. Fuck isolation. Like, I tried putting myself there, and I was a dark-ass place, and I'm happy to not be there anymore. I'm happy to be, a part of a community of people who see my heart and aren't afraid of it. They don't see art as the heart monster. They see art as ash, because we are the same. Because art is literally in each and every one of us. Literally, because we all have a art. We all have a heart. It's just about whether or not you're going to take the time to acknowledge it, to love it, to give it what it needs and deserves and desires, rather than abandoning it. And the only reason why you treat your heart the way you treat it is because that's how other people treated you, and you deserve better. Fuck, we all deserve better. And that is why my heart is sick, because my heart knows that we all deserve better, but not enough of us are questioning the reality that we live in. We're not questioning the people who created this reality that we're living, where we don't question the things that we believe because someone told us to believe it. Like, we're not questioning things enough. We're not questioning ourselves enough. We're not questioning these structures that we're just dropped in enough. Our educational system, why are we not questioning what we're teaching kids in school? Everything that I learned that came out of a fucking textbook was written by some white man who got money. And that motherfucker ain't worried about me and where I'm going in life. He don't care about my financial literacy, because fuck, I'm struggling. I want to focus on my heart. And I know that the more I pour into my heart, the more God is going to pave a clearer path for me to get to the success that is meant for me, not for anyone else. And that is what HEARTSICK is about. HEARTSICK is about me just doing something different and hoping that that's enough. And I know that it will be, because I am.